Today our topic of discussion is time complexity. But now today I will share you some concept that how you can identify what is the time complexity of a specific C or C++ code. So now before explaining what is the definition of time complexity, I will give you one general idea. Imagine a classroom of say 100 students in which you gave your pen to only one person. Now, if you want that pen, then there are some ways to find that pen. For that purpose, what are the different cases we will consider that we have to discuss? So, for an example, say case 1. So, the name of the case 1 is order of n square. Now, I will explain what is the meaning of this order of n square. Now, you want your pen back. So, what you will do? You will go and ask the first person of the class if he has the pen. Also, you ask this person about the other 99 people in the classroom if they have the pen, and then you will continue this process. So, this is your order of n square concept. So it is like a diffusion, means you are asking one person about your pen. If this person doesn't have the pen, then you will ask about the other 99 people, means rest of the class. Then again you select one person, then again ask for the pen, and again you will ask if we don't have that pen, then you have to ask other persons also. So this process will continue. So this is your order of n square concept. Now we have a concept of case 2, which is known as order of n. Going and asking each student individually in this classroom is order of n time complexity. Now we have case 3, which is known as order of log n. Now say I divide the class into two groups. Then ask, is it on the left side or it is on the right side of the group? Then I will take that particular group and divide that group again into two parts, say G11 and G12. So I will repeat this process of dividing this individual group into two groups until we have the student who has my pen. So this is the concept. So whenever this kind of division concept is applied, this is known as case 3, order of log n. But now I will give you the definition of time complexity. See, whenever I am talking about an algorithm or some code, then time complexity of an algorithm or code is not equal to the actual time. So you have to remember this point. So basically, what is time complexity? It is the amount of time that a particular number of times the statements in the code will execute. It is about number of times individual steps in the code will execute. Now I will give you one simple example. Before that, I have some discussion. So for an example, say we are writing a code in C or C++ or any other language to find maximum between n numbers, where say n varies from 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000. It depends on the input. So we have to find out the maximum number among this n number. So in this case, what will happen if you are executing this code in some Linux based OS? Linux based OS means Fedora or Ubuntu, And if you compile and run this code, what you will see, you will get surprising result in this code. Whenever you have 10 numbers and you are finding maximum among them, then you may get zero point 0.5 millisecond time. However, whenever the value of n, say it is 10,000, and you are going to find the maximum number among these n numbers, then at that point of time you may get zero point 0.2 millisecond time. Basically also you will get different timings for different machines also. Means this time is not fixed to any specific machine. If you change the machine configuration, then the time will change. So we can say that the actual time requires to execute a particular code is machine dependent. So this is the point you have to understand. I have explained that whenever we are executing some code in code blocks, so what happens after giving the output at the end of the code, it will give you the execution time. So I'm talking about that execution time. See, that specific execution time is totally machine dependent. So whatever time amount I am explaining for this kind of problem, it may vary machine to machine. And why this kind of variation will occur? So one of the reason is network load. That is, if your machine is in LAN or if it is in WAN, even you will not get the same thing for the same machine, for the same code. This is the point. So instead of measuring actual time required in executing for each statement of the code, we will consider how many times each statements will take to execute. So here in nutshell I can explain, depending on the machine configuration, depending on the network load, and depending on the situation that how your machine is connected. On the basis of these parameters, the amount of time that a particular program will take to execute, it will change. So as a result, if we consider this time to analyze our code, then it will be a not good parameter of measurement. So what we can do? So now at this point of time, what we will do, consider one particular simple code. Say we have int main and say I'm just printing print f say hi. So here output will be hi. So in this code, hi is printing only once in the screen. So the time complexity is constant. We can say that here the time complexity is order of 1. That is, every time the constant amount of time required to execute a code is your 1. That is, no matter in which operating system or which machine this code is running. So here try to understand one specific point. So whenever I am not analyzing my code on the basis of actual time required to execute this code, then it is a good choice. Because if I follow this kind of facility, that is how many times a particular lines of code is executing, on the basis of that here I am writing order of 1, since this high will be printed only once on the screen. So this kind of measurement is kind of universal thing. So this kind of activity is known as time complexity. But we have some specific rules how we can find this calculation, since it completely differs from the normal time calculation. So now if you consider one code like say, so this is the code. So basically here we have one loop and I am printing high in the loop. So how many times this high will be printed? It depends on the value of the n. Here the value of the n is 8. So I am expecting that the output will be high, and each time we have one slash n after that. So each and every high will be printed in the next line and the number of times is 8. So here what should be the time complexity? So here the value of the printing statement means what is the number of times, means how many times this printing statement will be executed. It is controlled by the value of n. So if I change the value of n, the output will be changed accordingly. So in this case, who is controlling this printing statement? That is the value n. So in this case, the time complexity will be order of n. Now, we cannot write straight away the time complexity like this. So we have to follow some mathematical analysis too. Now I am giving you one specific example and the mathematical calculation by which you can calculate time complexity. But before giving the example, I am giving you some assumptions. Say, let us consider that we have a machine or model with the specification. Say we have the machine with single processor, then it is a 32-bit machine. In this machine, we have sequential execution, or whatever programming we are running, it is following sequential execution, and 1 unit of time is required for arithmetic operation. Arithmetic operation means addition, subtraction. 1 unit of time say required for assignment operation. Assignment operation means say a equal to 5. So I'm assigning 5 into a. So this is the basic assumptions. And the last assumption say if I have any return statement, then that return statement will also take that 1 unit of time. So if I write return a, so it will take 1 unit of time. So now try to understand with this specific configuration how we can calculate the time complexity. Say, consider this example 1. So I'm just writing one pseudocode, that is, say we have one sum function, and within this sum function I have one return statement, say return a plus b. Now here I have to calculate the time complexity. So focus on this portion. So it is a return statement, right? In this return statement, I am performing one arithmetic operation. So here we know that according to our assumption, 1 unit of time is needed for this return statement. So it is 1 plus 1 unit of time is required for any arithmetic operation. So a plus b is our arithmetic operation. So I am assigning 1 unit of time. So as a result, after writing this line, basically here 2 unit of time is used or invested here. So this amount is your constant amount. And now we have to understand how many times this line is going to execute. See, since we have no loop, so this line will be executed only one times. So the time complexity t for the sum function will be calculated as 2, means 2 unit of time is used for this specific line, and this sum function has only one line which is a constant. And what is the time complexity? According to the definition of the time complexity, how many times a particular instruction in the code is executed, it is your time complexity. So here time complexity will be order of 1, because the number of times this statement will be executed is 1. So that's why this is the time complexity. Now we have some more discussion. We have to consider some other cases so that we could understand this concept in more details. Now consider example number 2. See here I am using another function. In this function I have two parameters. A is an array and n is the number of element in the array. So if the array name is A and n is the number of elements that we have in the array. Say inside this function, I have the first instruction as total equal to 0, and then I have one loop, say I equal to 0 to n minus 1. I'm not writing the actual code, it is a pseudo code. And then inside this for loop, I am calculating the sum of the element that is present in the array, and then I am returning the value sum. So that's it. This is the code. Now try to understand the calculation very carefully. So this is the body of the function. So I will try to calculate time complexity for each and every instruction. So here total equal to 0. So I can say that it is the constant and it is equal to 1. That is number of times this line will execute, which is also 1. So this is the first thing that we have to understand. It is having one value. Why it is a constant one? Because it is using one assignment statement. 0 is assigned to the total, and for assignment statement we have considered that I will invest 1 unit of time. So 1 unit of time for the assignment, and number of times this line will execute, that is 1. So this is from the first instruction. Now consider the second instruction, which is a loop. So how many times it will take? It will take, say, n plus 1 times. Why it will take n plus 1 times? Try to understand. This loop will iterate up to 0 to n minus 1 time, and one time will be extra, which is needed for the false condition when the loop will break, because at the last you will get one condition. At that point of time this condition will not be satisfied, whatever condition is given for this loop, and your loop will break. So it will take n plus 1 number of times. And now how many assignment operations we have? We have two assignments operation. So here 2 unit of times will be invested. Now we have sum equal to sum plus ai. So in this case the cost will be 2, and how many number of times this line will be executed? Since it is in the loop, so it will be executed in number of times. And now we have one return statement. Now see how I will calculate the time complexity of the code. So I'm going to calculate the t sum. What is the definition of the time complexity? The definition of the time complexity is how many time this particular instruction is executed and what is the cost. So in this case we have one constant time, that is 1 for the first instruction. Now for the second instruction, here what is the cost? So we have two assignment statement. So here cost is 2, and how many times this for loop will iterate? This for loop will iterate n plus 1 amount of time. So for that reason it is n plus 1 plus. Then come to the next line. So here what is the cost? Here the cost is 2, and this line will be executed n times. So cost is 2 and this line will be executed n times since this line is inside the loop. Plus. Now for the return statement. So here for the return statement we have invested 1 unit of time. So how much time is required for the return statement? That is 1. So this is how we will calculate the time complexity. So it is 1 plus 2 into n plus 1, 2 into n plus 1. So if I calculate this, it will be 4n plus 4. 4n plus 4 means 4 is the constant value. This 4 is also a constant value. So if I represent this line as first constant into n plus second constant. So at this point of time, time complexity means we will only consider the variables, not the constant. So at this point of time, the time complexity will be order of n. So this is the second case where we can calculate the time complexity. But there is one more question. If I am having one code like this, say what is the time complexity of this code? Observe this code carefully. So this is your example 3. See, the time complexity of this program, I can say it is order of 1. Now the question is why. So as this program consists of only assignments and arithmetic operations, so all those will be executed only once. So for this line, 1 unit of time is required. For this line, 1 unit of time is required. So no assignment is there. So I'm ignoring this line. Here we have one arithmetic operation, 1 unit of time. Try to understand for this programming, we have only the constants. And this program will be executed only once because there is no loop. So at this point of time, the time complexity will be order of 1 of this code. So here the point is the complexity of a particular code does not depend on the number of instruction it consists of. It depends on the concept, how many operations we have and what kind of operations we are performing and how many times those operations are executing. So as a result, you have to remember this thing. So your example 3, since consists of only assignments, operation and arithmetic operations, so time complexity for this code will be order of 1. But here there is one question, why I am ignoring some of the instructions. So now consider another example, that is example 4. Say I have one function where I have one array parameter and I have one variable. So basically I have two parameters and I have one variable sum which is initialized to 0 and one variable I, and I'm using one loop. Loop is also known as control statement. So here inside this loop I am calculating sum and then I'm using one return statement for returning the sum. So now we have one control statement which executes n times. Along with that, we also have operations like assignment and arithmetic calculations, and we have one return statement. So according to this, what is the time complexity? So it should be n. So this is the amount of time this loop will execute, plus we have one arithmetic operation, we have one assignment operation, we have one return statement. So 1 plus 1 plus 1, it is 3. So basically the time complexity of this code will be order of n plus 3. But now try to understand. Here we will use one convention. For larger value of n, the constant values become negligible. So if a program consists of a control statement, then the complexity of the assignment statement, the complexity of the arithmetic operation, logical operation, and the return statement will be ignored completely. So at that point of time, the complexity of this code will become order of n. Now, I have one example 5 also. So in the example 5, say I have one code where I am using two loop and loops are in nested order. That is, I have one loop and inside this loop I have another loop. So this loop is executing from 1 to n and this loop is executing again for 1 to n. And inside this loop, say I am just printing hi. So now what is the time complexity of this code? The first and the second loop gets executed n times individually. So the time complexity will be calculated as n into n. Try to understand this operation whenever we have some nested looping. So number of times the first loop is executed into the number of times the second loop is executed. So here the time complexity will be order of n square. However, we have so many assignment operations in this case. I may have some written operations after that, but they are so small and they are taking constant amount of time. So we are just ignoring the entire assignment operations and arithmetic and logical operations. So in this case, our only concern is how many times our loops are executed. And for nesting concept, we have to use the multiplication sign. So this is your example 5. Now we have another interesting case, example number 6. So in example number 6, I have explained that while finding the pen, the one safest option is I will divide the class into two different groups and I will ask which group will have my pen. Then I will select that group and again I will divide the group into part until I will get my pen. So this concept is known as binary search concept. In binary search, there are many elements in a particular array and that array must be sorted. It should be arranged in order. So at that point of time, we will find some meet position and then we will divide the array into smaller parts and then we will have one key value. Key value means which number I'm going to search. Say I'm searching for 5 means 5 exists in this array or not. So this is known as key value. So I keep on dividing the groups into two part and I will keep on searching the key element in the array until that element is found. So how this algorithm will execute? For executing this algorithm, we have to use one while loop. And this while loop will iterate from the lowest index to the highest index of the array. So array starts from 0 and the maximum index of this array is say 20. So this is the low index and this is the high index. So this loop will execute until low is less or equal to high. So 0 is less than 20, 1 is less than 20, 2 is less than 20. So similarly this loop will iterate. Then it will try to find out one mid position of this array. How to find out the mid position? Low position plus high position divided by 2. So this is how we could find the middle index. Now if the middle index is found, then our intention is to find the array either in the left side or in the right side so that we could identify the key element. So I will write if that key element is less than the array of mid, then we will keep on searching. How to search this element? So if it is in the left side, so we have to search it in mid minus 1 in this direction. So for that reason I have written it is as mid minus 1, or else we have to search it on the right position. So I will check if the n is greater than, means if the value is greater than array of mid, then I will search it in the right direction. So mid plus 1. Now there is one question. At the initial point when I was discussing the binary search, I have explained that the array must be in sorted order. So if the key element is 10 and say this is my mid position, so since this 10 value is less, so I will go in this direction. So that's why I am writing this condition. And if the mid value means whatever value I am searching, if it is greater than or equal to the mid or greater than the mid, doesn't matter. So I will go into the right position. So that's why I can confidently write this condition. So if the key value is less than the element present in the middle of the array index, then I will go to the left. Going left means mid minus 1, or else I have to go to the right. Right means middle index plus 1. Or else afterwards, if the element is not found, then we will perform break operation. So this is the algorithm for binary search, and all such algorithms which work on the principle of recursive division. See, this binary search depends on the principle of recursive division. What is the meaning of recursive division? First, I will divide the array. Then, whichever side is selected, that side is also divided. Again, we will keep on dividing that side. So, this kind of division is known as recursive division. So, whichever algorithm depends on this kind of recursive division, the time complexity will be order of log n. There will be one question that why should be it should be log n. I have one justification, that is, in data structure we have talked about binary tree. Each time a particular parent have two nodes. Now, according to the data structure, the height of the binary tree will be log n at any point of time. So in this case, say your node is replaced by one array, and each time your array is divided into two child, like this. Again, this will be divided into two part. So this kind of division will basically create one tree. More precisely, it is creating one binary tree, and height of the binary tree will be log n. So at that point of time, the complexity of this code will be order of log n. So for that reason, any programming that depends on dividing the array into two halves and will use the recursive mechanism, this is the time complexity. So time complexity of the binary search will be order of log n. But if the array element is found at the mid position, means at the mid position I have 20 and I am searching for the value 20, then what will happen? So it is very simple. It will take order of 1 time, because at the first search, means whenever my code is iterating for the first time, the first index is middle index. From middle index, we will start our array division. So at this point of time, we have got the element. So it is a constant time. So best case time complexity of binary search will be order of 1. Otherwise, in any cases, we have to go either in the left or in the right. So at that point of time, it is order of log n. So that's why be careful about the definition of the time complexity. How many times your code is iterating. If the array element is found at the mid, so my code is iterating once. Because accessing the middle index of the array, I'm getting my key value. So it's a best case time complexity for the binary search, and that is order of 1. But I have one critical case also. In that case, whenever you are dealing with matrix, and if it is a square matrix, then we have to understand whatever time complexity I am calculating, it will be in the form of this. That is, whenever we have one particular square matrix, try to understand for accessing any square matrix, how many loops we need. We need two loops, and those loops are in nested order. So at that point of time, the first loop will be executed n time because the dimension of the matrix is n. And the second loop will also execute n times. And according to our formula, we know that whenever we have the concept of nested loop, the time complexity will be order of n into n, that is order of n square. So from this, we can easily state that if we have three nested loops, so at this point of time, our complexity will be order of n into n, that is order of n cube. So from this, I can state whenever we have matrix multiplication, at that point of time, since three nested loops are there, so as a result, the time complexity will be order of n cube. But according to this formulation, we can say that sum of elements of the matrix, means if I talk about general time complexity, it will create one polynomial equation, or you can say it will be a quadratic equation whenever your matrix is square matrix. So this is the general term, but this is the convention that you can use for further time complexity analysis. Means how many loops you are using in your particular code, that matters.